What if the biggest money arguments in your relationship have nothing to do with money? Maybe you've had the fight. The Amazon package, the credit card bill, the expensive dinner, the vacation, the daily coffee, the lunch that somehow turned into a 2-hour argument. And on the surface, it looks like you're fighting about spending. But what if you're not? What if one person is fighting for security while the other person is fighting for freedom? What if one person is trying to feel safe while the other person is trying to feel alive? Because one of the biggest realizations we've had recently is this. Most money fights aren't about dollars. They're about fear. They're about identity. They're about childhood. They're about beliefs we inherited long before we ever met our partner. And when those beliefs collide, it can feel like you're speaking two completely different languages. And that's why we want to have a conversation about why couples fight about money, what those fights are really about, and the surprising realization that changed how we see each other after over 16 years together.
That's right. Today, we're talking about one of the most emotionally charged topics in any relationship, money. Not because money itself is emotional, but because of everything attached to it. Money touches safety, freedom, control, success, self-worth, family, fear, identity. And the truth is, most people think they're arguing about spending habits, but what they're actually arguing about are the meanings they've attached to money. Because before you ever share the bank account, before you ever paid a bill together, before you ever discussed a budget, you already had a relationship with money. You learned it from your family. You learned it from your experiences. You learned it from your struggles. And most of those lessons were never consciously chosen. They were absorbed. And then one day, you brought those beliefs into a relationship with someone who learned something completely different. And that's where the conflict begins. So let's talk about it. So money is never just about money. Most money arguments seem practical, but underneath them is emotion. So spending money versus saving, debt versus security, risk versus stability, enjoying today, which is me,
Sure is.
versus preparing for tomorrow.
Right.
So the purchase isn't the argument, Kim. I know we talked about this when I buy something, right? And you get upset.
Yes.
Like I'm the spender.
Yes, you are the spender and I'm the saver.
Right. So I buy, let's say I go to Amazon and I buy something and then you see it, shows up. What's your first reaction?
Annoyed.
You get annoyed.
Angry. Right? Aggravated.
Yeah.
Well, there's several different reasons for that. But, like one person sees like, why did you buy that? And the other hears like, why are you trying to control me? Which I think is what you feel, right?
So yeah, we're going to dive deeper into these money issues between couples because the purchase isn't the argument. It's the meaning attached to the purchase, right? So you feel, like I said, I buy something, you feel betrayed.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how many more things go through your head. Is he really going to use that? What the heck is that?
Most of the time the answer is no, you don't really use it. You buy shit and we have to throw it out.
And so I'm the spender, you are the saver. I see it more like I just want to buy it, I just want to enjoy it, I need it. But what goes in your head?
Well, several things. There's a sense of betrayal. I feel like that you didn't discuss it with me first because I am very forthcoming and open with you about everything I do because I'm more of the person who needs permission to buy things almost.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like to spend money without discussing it first.
Right.
And it could be anything, like even if it's a pedicure. Like, I need you to tell me like, yes, honey, go enjoy a pedicure.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me feel good. And then anger, I feel anger because I'm like, why is he spending money on that? We don't need it. It's a piece of crap or, whatever it is, something that's going to sit in the closet or a book that I think that you won't read or, stuff like that. And so I get angry and I get angry because a piece of my security has been taken away. I'm like the one who does most of the finances. We do them together, but mostly I handle it, setting up the payments and just making sure there's enough in the account, that type of thing. And so I have it in my mind what we need there to pay the bills, and then I see a purchase come in and I'm like, well, I wasn't expecting that. And now I need to kind of rearrange what I had thought. Like
Mhm.
it takes a lot of room in my brain to plan for those things. And then it's like stuff I don't want to think about. So now I have to like rethink it.
Right.
So that's why I get aggravated.
Yeah, and I understand. So money isn't emotional because of the dollars amount.
Hmm.
It's emotional because of what those dollars represent.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
You
there's like
blew
a
it.
$30, like what happened?
Yeah. You
Right?
blew it.
Yeah. So and I don't see it as I'm doing something wrong, but because again I just saw it, I bought it,
Yeah.
my brain doesn't really click to like, oh, I have to save the money. I just go more like, oh, I like it, I want it, and I just want to enjoy the things. All this stems from the money stories we inherited.
Yes, the money beliefs and where they come from. I grew up with a lot of scarcity. My parents were divorced. My mother was a single mother with 2 kids. Her parents grew up, during the depression. So she was always in like save, save, save mode and don't spend. And she definitely passed that down to us. And also being a single mom, she didn't have a lot of money. She relied on my dad, who paid child support every month, but we all know that never really cuts it, right? And she would always be like, "Get the check from your dad while you're there visiting him," and stuff like that, and I would always see the money, so I was always, like, aware of how much money she was getting.
Yeah. It's funny how people back then used to do that to their kids.
Yeah,
Because I had a
I
similar
know you
story.
have. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Right, and so there was always financial stress. She was constantly worried about money, you could tell. So I grew up with this sense of scarcity.
Yeah.
And she was always a really hard worker. And then she met this man when I was like 8 or 9 years old, whatever, and they started a business. And when you're starting a business, of course, like there's no money
Yeah.
coming in
There's
right
a lot
away
of
for years,
sacrifices.
a lot of sacrifice. And of course, I was, well, we all had to sacrifice. And they taught me how hard they had to work for money and all the sacrifice that went along with it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's always been my belief growing up is like making money is hard. Always the beliefs that they implanted in my brain, money is hard to make, money doesn't grow on trees. Those are always what I heard when I was
Yeah.
growing up. When I was younger, I did start spending more money. I wasn't good with money because I was never really taught. So I had this like hyper independence from a very young age. At 16, I was paying like a car payment, my own insurance. Then I started paying my own cell phone bill. And then by 18, I moved out. I had my own apartment, all my own bills, my own medical insurance. I was paying for everything. I was very hyper independent, but I didn't, make enough. And
Yeah.
so I started spending and got into some financial troubles. And my mom kind of helped me and manage that and untangle it and everything. And then
But she taught you that you have to work hard.
yeah, that's the bottom line.
So you have to
Right.
really work, work, work
Mhm.
because money doesn't grow in trees.
So, after I learned that, like, the first time when I got into, like, a little bit of, overspending, she helped me get out of it. I learned, like, very quickly that I didn't wanna go into that position again.
Yeah.
And so, from then on, I kind of became like a saver. However, looking back, it doesn't seem like I'm a saver because we've always just been investing in businesses. But we've always kind of had this struggle around finances. But the truth is, it's not like we're out buying all these grandiose things. The truth is, we've just always invested in investments or businesses and stuff like that. And unfortunately, they haven't all worked out.
So now that you're saying it out loud, Kim, I can see now the whole picture. Your mom was struggling with money when you were little. She was always saying, hey, money is hard to make. You have to work hard to get money.
Yeah, I heard that from both
But
sides, my dad also.
but she was also willing to take a risk on a business because she wanted to have money and she wanted to be independent and
Mhm.
all the things that a business could provide you.
Right.
And now that you're going through your whole childhood, you are basically doing the same.
Oh, I know.
You are I have to work hard to get money and I have to start my business. I need to get my business. So she passed that down to you,
100%, yeah.
right?
And her dad passed the same down to her, so
Yeah. So
he had a business as well.
we inherited this money beliefs and how we just perceive finances and how we perceive ourselves, how we get up in the morning, how we see the world, and how we're just gonna get the money today,
Yeah. Well,
right?
I saw her and my stepdad working a minimum of 12 hours a day, and it
Yeah,
was usually like Monday through Sunday.
yeah. And then you saw that, like, oh yeah, that's
I
how it is.
saw that and I was like, that's just how
That's
it
how it
is.
is.
And
Yeah,
so that's what I do. Like
yeah,
I can't sit still. I'm
yeah.
always have to be
Mm-hmm.
working on something. And if I am doing
Yeah,
something other than work, I feel guilt.
yeah,
I can't be doing nothing. Like you want to go and go do something and enjoy the time. And I 100% agree. And that's where we balance each other out. I
yeah,
understand that I am the way I am and why I am that way.
mm,
And I understand that it's not good. It's not sustainable. It's
yeah.
not a good way to live. It's not enjoying your life. It's not enjoying time with our kids when they're, in their prime years for us to enjoy them.
Right.
So I do understand the error of my ways. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad for that balance now.
Right.
But your story, since we're opposites, your story is similar in a lot of ways, but very different.
Right. When I was a kid, my father, I wasn't living with my mom. I remember that my mom was basically doing the same that your mom was doing. I go call your dad,
Mm,
ask for money. Your dad have to give you the money.
yeah.
I remember picking up the phone, calling my dad. You know, my mom ended up in Colombia. I don't know how it's called. It's called like it's like a child support type,
Yeah.
so that the money gets deducted automatically.
Right.
Child support, right? So my dad was very upset when that happened because he was a lawyer, and then he was like, I cannot have this in my record.
Yeah.
It just seems bad, right? My mom will have to go pick up the checks like, to the government agencies or some shit like that, where they basically have a check, they cut a check for you, you
Right.
know? And then, and it's funny because now that I'm thinking about it, my dad was surrounded by those offices in the government.
Right. I'm
So
sure.
it's basically like the check was going next door,
Yeah.
you know? And at some point for my dad
It's
was
like, "Nope, I don't need to put this in the mail. Can you just run this across?"
exactly. So it was very, very upsetting that my mom put me into like again calling my dad and all that.
Well, yours is I just want to clarify this. Yours, like your situation was different in that regard because your mom was kind of putting you in the middle of it. I was like, like my dad would hand me the check to give to my mom.
Mhm.
I wasn't begging for it or anything like that. Like it was my dad always paid child support. I'm not saying he didn't. He always did. It was just like I was just the messenger, the delivery person. It wasn't like but my point was I always saw the money going back and forth. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he pays my mom X amount of dollars every month or
Mhm.
whatever." But yours was more like almost like your mom kind of put you in a position to,
My mom was
call
kind
and
of
ask for
hurt.
it.
My mom was
Yeah.
hurt. My mom wanted to kind of pass him some guilt.
Yeah.
Like he is your child,
Mhm.
and where the heck are you?
Yeah.
You know? And then uh
Because your relationship was I think just kinda dig into a little bit, like, your relationship was strained with your dad. Mine wasn't, like, my dad
mhm,
we went with my
mhm.
dad twice a week was our things. Every Thursday and Sunday, we were with my dad, but you had more of a strained relationship,
Yeah.
whereas your dad had started a whole new family
Yeah, my
and
new family, and then the wife didn't like us at
right.
all,
You and your
you know?
sister.
Yeah, yes, me and my sister. But then my mom just kind of passed on to me this kind of sense of entitlement,
Mhm.
like, oh, your dad have money.
Yeah.
You deserve the money. It's your money.
Yeah.
She always like made it sound like that. It's like a no second thoughts or like, nope, it's your money.
Yeah.
Where's your money? Where's your son's money?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, so I have this kind of, entitlement per se from, even though I wasn't living with my dad. And then my mom was like, well, you're a lawyer. You're making money. Where's my money?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it.
Mhm.
Again, that was in the early 90s,
Yeah.
probably late 80s. So the money brought drama into my life, but also brought entitlement. And then I kind of saw it that the money will come to me somehow because my mom kind of put that in my head that we gotta get the check.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean? So
you didn't really dig into that, but you felt this pressure, like you felt like you were in the middle,
I was in the middle. Yeah.
and you always felt like kind of resentful against your mom for
Mm-hmm.
putting you in
For
that
putting me in that
position.
position. Yeah.
And then you felt this sadness and hurt and
Yeah.
anger towards your dad
Exactly.
because he wasn't just more forthcoming with the money and just like, oh, this is my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take care of it. It
Yep.
was like you felt like you were like
I
begging
was
for
begging
money,
for money. Like, what?
and you're a proud guy and not
Exactly.
into that.
No, like my dad doesn't. So it was like this conflict.
Yeah,
Why am I asking my dad for money?
right.
You know what I mean? And I think that one of the last days when I was going to college, one of the things that I will never forget was I remember asking him that I'm going to the campus. And so I need the money to go to the campus,
To
right?
pay for school.
To pay for school, yeah, and have some money for the first month or so. He said, okay, I have the money right now. Come to pick it up right now or I will spend it.
Yeah.
And that made me so angry.
Yeah.
Like, I won't ever tell to my kid,
No.
if you don't show up right now, I want to spend it. Like, what the fuck? Am I like a friend or like a.
It's like a pawn in a game. Like he's playing you. Like,
Yeah.
you don't talk to your kid like
No.
that.
Can you imagine? And I didn't like that at all
Yeah.
when he said that.
What did you do? Did you pick it up?
Yeah, I went to pick it up and he gave me a huge chunk of cash. He gave me a lot of cash. Like $1,000 back then, something like that or more. Yeah, and then I went to college. Like, oh, fuck it, I'm leaving anyways.
Yeah.
You know? But I wasn't taught anything about money. I was always into investments, to invest in companies, in the stock market. I don't even remember how I got into. I was really young, maybe 17, 16 when I started getting into, but no one taught me anything about investments. No one taught me anything about that you have to work hard for money, because even my dad made it look like it was easy to make money. He was a lawyer. He would show up to the office at 9 a.m., right? He would go to lunch at 12, go to his house, take a nap. And go back to the office.
We know where you inherited that one from.
And then goes back to the office at 2 o'clock. And then by 4:30, he's gone. He was working like, what, 4 or 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
And I remember that his boss was okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, because he kind of knew the in and outs of the company back then. So his boss was like,
right.
That could have said, I'm busy with a case, open quote.
And he's
just fucking taking a nap or drinking.
Yes, he's
taking a fucking drinking. He was a big drinker.
Yeah.
And he will go, my dad was one of those that will go somewhere, let's say to a bar or something, and he will say a round for everybody.
Yeah.
He would buy rounds for everybody. You know, he was just lavish, you know.
Except with his own children.
He would be just, yep, I'll pay the bill. Give me the bill.
Because he sounds like, I've never met him, of course, because you guys have a strained relationship, but it sounds like he like to throw his weight around, or like, he's very showy. What's the word I'm looking for?
No, he pretends that he doesn't have the money, but then all of a sudden, you're like, well, I gotta wait for this case to pay me or whatever to get the check. There's always like a wait, right? There's always the deal to go through, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, so my dad will just go and he will make it sound like, okay, the check is coming or the deal is going to go through. And all of a sudden, 2 days after, he's blowing crazy money on something. And I'm just like, I thought you said that we're going to wait it out like a week or two or the next month. And all of a sudden, like, it was always a game. There was always a game because he didn't want to pay what he needed to. My mom always knew, and we knew that he always would just kind of, he was just giving us
scraps.
Yeah, he wasn't even paying what he needed to pay us and give us, what we deserved back then.
And then your mom, on the other hand, is like, big open heart, doesn't hold on to money.
Oh, no.
She just wants to give it all away to her, whoever needs something or wants something. She just buys them or gives them money and buys them gifts. And she's not
was crazy.
a saver either.
Yeah, my mom will I will ask my mom for something and she won't ever say no.
Yeah.
She will find a way to get it to me. I never really asked for crazy shit, but we parents sometimes, no, that's too expensive. My mom will be just spend it, buy it, and
she's not a saver.
No. And I think all those things are mold us or mold me, right?
So the lesson that kind of came from your dad, though, it wasn't like money creates security. It was more like money creates conflict.
Yeah. Yep.
The lesson from your mom is more,
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Money will come.
money will come and you're entitled to it
hmm
because she knew your dad had all this money. So you're entitled to it.
Yeah.
And that's tomorrow's problem.
That's tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. That's tomorrow's problem. She was stressed out, but again, I think now that I'm putting it together, she put herself in the position. We all do.
Yes.
We all have a life. We all have the opportunities. We all make decisions, and every decision is going to have a cost, right? Every decision is going to have a bill at the beginning or at the end,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but now she was, and still, she still tells me, I will never have money, Ken, because if I have it, I will just give it all away.
Yep.
And she basically did part of her, her entire life. That's how she's been,
Yeah. And so when we're going into a relationship, we all have these expectations, right? About
Right.
what we're going to expect from our partner.
Before you go deeper, you meet this guy or this girl,
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea.
Right.
You have no idea what that person is bringing. And even if the person have money or have no money, there is a trait,
Mm-hmm.
right? There is something hidden that was inherited from his childhood or her childhood.
Yep. These beliefs.
hmm And most people never discuss them.
Well, a lot of people don't discuss them, but even if you do discuss them, people aren't aware.
They're
not aware. I
Exactly.
didn't know that my money hangups until just 2 years ago when I started digging into this. I didn't know that my underlying belief about money is that money is hard to make and money is hard to come by.
Yeah.
Money doesn't grow on trees. Money doesn't, it just takes hard, continuous work. I didn't know that that was my underlying belief.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that that's what was fueling my life and how I lived my life.
Right.
I didn't understand that.
Right. For those that are listening, they may think, yeah, but that's the only way to make money. If you believe that you have to work hard for money, that's your belief and that's your life.
Correct. That will be
And
your
I'm not
life.
saying that if you're like sitting in the couch watching Netflix, you're going to get rich. No, that's not going to happen either.
These unwritten rules that we have, these unwritten beliefs, right? We carry them into a relationship. And when you and I met, it was all, butterflies in the stomach. I was just head over heels right away. It was just, I was just looking for, I wasn't looking for money. I was just looking for the right partner, right? That I could build and grow with, and somebody who had an open mind like I did about different things. So it took a while for us to even have any money conversations. I'm talking like a couple years, which I don't recommend, by the way. I do recommend having that conversation way before. But
if you're planning a life with that person, the conversation is to taking place.
Yeah, for sure.
But people skip that because there's some sort of an insecurity or like, oh well, this guy's gonna think that it's all about money. But if you're building something.
In my case, I didn't, in this particular case, I was going through a divorce, and like I already knew what my ex brought to the table, and that wasn't what fulfilled me. And I knew what I was looking for as far as wanting to build a life and a business and, the open mind that I was talking about. Like, I was looking for those specific things. I wasn't looking for somebody to come in with this huge bank account and sweep me off my feet. Would have been nice, but it didn't happen that way. And that's not what I was looking for. So I did wonder and ponder that many times. I remember before we ever had the conversation, like, oh, I wonder what, his financial situation is, because I really didn't know in the beginning. And I remember like a few friends had asked me, I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, Kim, why aren't you having those important conversations? This is like 2 years in or something. But we had a lot of other things going on, issues that we had to overcome first before that was even relevant.
Yeah.
So the kind of unwritten rules that we never really discussed was like my expectations were that we would both work, we would both contribute, we both plan, we both save. And I think your expectations were a little bit different. Yours is like family helps family and money comes and goes and we'll figure it out. And, everything works out eventually. And like That's tomorrow's problem. And
Yeah.
like, that's kind of your mentality about it. And, nobody's wrong, of course, but it is a struggle for one person to come to terms with somebody else's
Yeah.
beliefs and spending habits.
Yeah, like you said, nobody was wrong, but nobody was speaking. So you and I, we weren't speaking the same language either.
No.
Literally.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Kim, and there's so many couples right now that they have these differences and beliefs about money.
Mm-hmm.
And they are in a relationship. They love each other. They have fun. And they don't even know how to address the issue.
Right.
There is this hidden battle, right?
Yeah.
That is making the guy feel miserable somehow, in some ways. And the girl feeling also miserable because there are differences. And they can even just planning to talk about this topic, talk about money, creates a huge fight.
Oh, yeah.
To the point that could make you see everything that is not going to work out.
Right.
You see so many red flags, and a lot of people just dismiss those red flags.
Well, for years, you and I were very much at odds about this, and
Yeah.
it caused a lot of friction and conflict between us, where at some points, I'm sure you and I were both ready to quit, over the years.
Absolutely.
We balance each other out. And I think that can be true for a lot of couples. I don't think they see it that way until they understand each other's, underlying beliefs and stories about money. I don't think that that's on the surface. But for example, you and I will get into the types of money identities, but the resentment often grows inside expectations that were never communicated. And I think that's a huge problem is, like I said, that couples don't communicate about these things and they don't even know how to communicate about them because they're just these underlying beliefs that we're not even always aware of.
Right.
But that's why communication is so important, kind of digging into your own personal money stories.
Even for us, Kim, when we were putting this episode together, as we were navigating it, and I started reading it, we thought, shit, we're going to fight.
Yeah, I know. I said, when we were getting ready to court, I said, are you ready to argue?
It's going deep.
Yeah.
Well,
we're about to get into more of it, which we still may argue. We don't know yet.
Right. We were prepping, the topics and the beliefs and how I was raised and how you were raised and how we handle money. And it just gets you right away. So I can only imagine how many people out there, again, they're together and someone buys something on Amazon, the package arrives, someone is in the living room trying to save money, and the other person is just happy to go pick it up, the package.
Well, I mean, you could use our example when you were working a full-time job. You were all the time, so many times per week out buying lunch. And of course, who doesn't love to go out to lunch and buy lunch? I would love that. I would love to just go have somebody make me a sandwich or a salad or whatever. But I am on the other end and I'm at home working from home and I'm like, okay, well, I got to get scrappy here. I got to get in save mode and I got to make my lunch every day. I got to make some salads, some sandwiches, some scrambled eggs, leftovers, whatever. And I'm thinking I'm here, I'm sacrificing for the family, I'm taking one for the team, I'm eating it just to eat it and move on with my day. Meanwhile, Ken, you're at work, going out to lunch with people and buying lunch all the time. And I see all these charges every day, like Chiba Hut. I don't know. Where else do you go? Fernando's taco shop. I don't know. What are they called? Mateos. I don't remember that one. Mateos. Anyways, I see these charges day after day after day. And I kept saying for years this went on. And you're talking a few $100s per month by the end of the month, right? And so I'm of course, resentful. He gets to go out and have all these great meals every day. And I'm home eating the crap. And you kept saying, well, if you want to go out to lunch, go out to lunch. And I'm of course I want to go out to lunch, but I don't want to spend the money to go out to lunch. And so you're out spending the money and I just have to sacrifice my health by eating the crap and my sanity and I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying what I'm eating, you know? And so that became like this huge argument ongoing for years where I would just have to like let it go. But so it just causes all this resentment.
Right.
And so I feel like I sacrificed and I didn't feel like it was fair. And I felt like, you know, you were not being responsible. I feel like you were not contributing like to the
To the angle.
security
Yeah.
of our family.
Right.
And then you're willy-nilly like, well, I should just be able to buy what I buy because I work hard and I deserve it. And don't, you know, your argument was like, stop like managing me and stop
Right.
controlling me. And I just want to enjoy my life and I don't want to plan lunches.
Yeah.
And that's tomorrow's problem kind of thing.
I realized that again when we were putting the episode together that, you know, like, oh wow. So I was busy at work, lunchtime, I'll just go get my lunch, go back, right?
No, I get it.
I
I
wouldn't even like
understand the convenience
thinking,
of it.
yeah, sometimes you think, oh man, I want to spend $15 on a meal or whatever, you know? But then after a while, you just kind of becomes the norm, right? And
Mhm.
again, because my beliefs of freedom or reward, enjoyment, my beliefs
Right.
that are embedded in me, like, oh, it's fine. You
Yeah,
know,
it's no big
it's just
deal.
today.
It's just I just got a sandwich, Kim. Like
Yeah.
you don't even like sandwiches, but like I just
Just got
got
a
a
burger or,
burrito from Chipotle, Kim. It's
yeah.
not a big deal. It's just
Mhm.
one Chipotle
Yeah.
order. Whatever the
Exact.
fuck.
So, yeah. So the same purchase has a completely different meaning, right?
Right. Two people can experience the exact same situation and be fighting two completely different battles. And
Yep.
that's why most of the money fights never even get resolved.
No. Yeah. Because it wasn't even about, again, like the burrito, it's just the fact, right? The fact.
Yeah.
And in
And
my
you're
case, it's just like, yeah, but it's just today. So
right. Doesn't
it
matter.
doesn't matter.
It's just a burrito.
It's a burrito. Move on. But
Right. And so really there's what it comes down to is there's 4 different money identities. You have the security seeker, right? And
yeah.
that's me in this case. Where money equals safety.
Mm-hmm.
You have the freedom seeker, which is Ken. Money equals possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You have the provider, where money equals worth. The protector, money equals responsibility.
Yep.
Most people are a combination of the 4 money identities. And most couples are actually the opposites of each other. And that's not by accident. And that's kind of what I was saying to you,
That we complement each other.
that we complement each other.
Right.
And that's not by accident. And in our case, it's a necessity.
Right.
Neither of us would be fulfilled without the other person's money identities.
Right.
Because you make me go outside of my comfort zone and spend a little more on experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You make me spend more money than I'm comfortable with on experiences. Like you'll
Right.
pressure me to, you know, take the kids away for the weekend or get a cabin or go on vacation or whatever it is. Or like go shopping here and there, stuff.
Yeah.
Like nothing extravagant, of course, but like, and then I kind of reel you in and I'm like, whoa, you know, we need to save money for this or spend it on this. And this is what we have coming up. Like I'm the planner, whereas you're like willy-nilly, like, oh, no plan. Like that's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah.
And I'm very much the planner telling you, slow down before you plan that vacation that we desperately need and want.
Yeah.
This is what we have coming up.
Ken, but underneath all of these identities that you just said, there's an even deeper divide. We have different thoughts, different mindsets about money, scarcity versus abundance, right? So the scarcity asks, what if we run out?
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I say, what if it works out?
Yeah, that's the abundance mindset. Whereas, you know, you were saying like comes from your entitlement. Like your mom always made you feel like you're entitled to your dad's money. And that's where your entitlement comes in. But mine is like fear, like from my single mom, like, oh my God, we don't have enough and I can't buy gas and I gotta get food on the table. And that's where my mindset comes from. And yours is coming from the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. But both have strength, but both have blind spots. The scarcity protects, try to protect.
Yeah.
Too much scarcity creates fear. Too much abundance creates recklessness. So neither mindset is the answer by itself. The magic is in the balance.
Exactly. And again, that's why we need each other to kind of balance each other out. And that's what led to the biggest realization that we've had. Because actually, Ken, like you didn't even realize your beliefs about money until yesterday when we were planning this episode.
Hmm.
I've been digging into my money beliefs for the past couple years and trying to eradicate them and change them and fix them. And I've been pushing you a little bit over the past 2 years because now that I realize that it's a problem and that we all have these underlying money beliefs, I wanted you to do the same so that could propel us forward together as a couple, as a family. And so I've been talking to you about this and you kind of like, yeah, kind of, you hear me out, but you're like, whatever kind of thing, kind of brush it off. But when we were digging into planning for this episode, you kind of had an epiphany about it, right?
Yeah, it was just crazy. Like you said, we were planning the episode, and I'm sitting on the floor, basically on the rug.
Crying, curled up in the fetal position.
No. Uh, and we're going through the bullet points and the topics and how we're gonna put it together without fighting. And remember that we postponed this episode because we needed
We didn't want to
the
fight.
brain capacity to put it together. And as we're going through, uh, I realized like, oh wow, I've been postponing the way I believe my belief about money. It's always spend it today, tomorrow we will be okay.
Right.
I'm always like the money's gonna show up,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what my mom or my dad was telling me when I
Right.
was a kid.
Right.
And it did show up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, we were whatever we were doing, and when I was a kid, we were doing shopping, if we were whatever we were doing, I remember the words, oh well, tomorrow we'll get a check the next week or tomorrow.
Mm.
Oh, the things are gonna work out the next week. And I'm sitting on the floor thinking like feeling it
Yeah.
as I am navigating life and looking back my entire life from that point, sitting on the floor
Mm-hmm.
at that moment
I know.
that the check will arrive tomorrow or the next week.
I know. And you were like telling me, like, I was trying to talk to you, and you're like, shh, wait. Like, I'm having like an epiphany right now. And you were like, oh my God, I'm seeing where my whole stories of money throughout my entire life began.
That
And
I
I was
just
like, finally.
that I just felt like I needed to go. And for some people, they're gonna think that this is crazy. I just felt like I need to go into a meditation immediately to break that
Yeah.
instead of just hoping for tomorrow will come.
Yeah.
Just switch it.
Right.
It's
right.
happening right now.
Yeah.
And I was, doing the work about, things are working out, things are gonna be okay. But inside of me, I was pushing it in the future
Mm-hmm.
because that's what actually brings me comfort.
Right.
Spend it now, blow it now, it's gonna arrive tomorrow. But that creates such anxiety also
Yeah.
because you're just kinda, it's
And
gonna get there.
you're always waiting for the next thing like to come, then
Mhm.
like the next check or
Mhm.
whatever, and you're like, where is it? Where's the money coming from?
And I felt such a kind of freedom this last days or so after we went over the episode
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like thinking differently and feeling differently. I kind of somehow broke that belief because I acknowledged it. You know what I mean?
I hope so, man. That would be great.
Yeah. So things are working out.
Tomorrow. Things will be okay tomorrow.
Unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure a
The
lot of
check
people.
is in the mail. The
Mhm.
moment we understood like the story now, looking back, we stopped seeing each other as the problem. I'm just like, oh, okay. He's that way because of his
Yeah,
beliefs and how he was raised. And I'm this way because of the same.
right.
And maybe that's what every relationship needs.
As long as there's good communication, it's really hard, Ken.
Yeah. No.
Even us with all our willingness, with all the communication that we have, that
Mhm.
we respect each other, that we love each other, we love our family. This topic is very, very,
It
very
is. It's
hard.
rough. It's rough, but it
is
makes
hard.
it does make it easier if you understand where the person is coming from and how they're feeling. and why they're feeling that way. So the goal isn't about becoming identical. The goal is about understanding what each person brings to the table. The very thing that frustrates you about your partner may actually be the thing that's protecting your future. And once you understand that, you can start asking some questions like, what am I actually scared of? What does money mean to me? What does money mean to my partner? Where did I learn that from? And where did they learn that from? Is this belief still serving me? And what fear is hiding underneath this argument?
Right. Very good questions, Kim, because awareness doesn't solve everything, but it changes the conversation.
Definitely.
Like it did with us.
Right.
So we know that you cannot change a money pattern you don't understand.
Right. Communication is super important, but you have to understand what's lying underneath. If you don't know what's lying underneath in order to communicate that, then you're not going to solve the problem. And if there's one thing that we hope that you can take away from this, it's that money is one of the most personal topics in any relationship. Not because it's about numbers, because it's about meaning. It's about the stories we've carried for decades, the fears we've never spoken out loud, the lessons we learned as children, the survival strategies we brought into adulthood. And maybe the biggest realization we've had is this: neither of us is trying to create conflict. Neither of us is wrong. We were both trying to feel safe. We just learned different ways to do it. And maybe that's true in your relationship too. Maybe the argument isn't really about money. Maybe it's about two people carrying old stories into a new life. And maybe understanding those stories is the first step towards rewriting them.
That's right, Kim. And we have here some reflection questions for those out there that are actually going through this kind of money conflict. So, what did money mean in your home growing up? What money belief have you never questioned?
What fear is hiding underneath your arguments? Are you reacting to today's situation or yesterday's story? What if they're trying to protect themselves in the only way they learned how? If this episode resonated with you or helped you in any way, we'd love for you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to go deeper, we created something for you. Head over to kenandkimpodcast.com where you can get access to our full library of rebuild guides. These are step-by-step tools designed to help you actually apply what we talk about here. And if you want to connect with us, join our private Facebook community, The Rebuild Room, where we're having real conversations about rebuilding your life. We'll see you in the next episode.